I think we could probably get started at this point. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to people who are across the pond. My name is John Tolles. Today, this webinar is going to hit on basically the journey for Workplace Ninjas US, along with announcing our two-day conference that's coming up this year, as we've now signed on the venue and the hotel block, and we're finalizing a lot of the stuff that's going on. So we're gonna kind of get started. Please use the Q&A. I'm also happy to unmute and allow people to talk if they have questions. I want this to be really like super interactive because this is something that I've invested a lot of time and money into, and I really believe in what we're doing. And I think it's going to be a really very exciting thing. So we're gonna get started here. So to talk what we're going to talk about today, we're going to cover the mission statement of Workplace Ninjas US. We're going to talk about the leadership or the committee team around US. A little bit for those of you, it's amazing how many Americans haven't heard of Workplace Ninjas, which is kind of funny to me, but we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Workplace Ninjas really briefly. We'll hit on the founding sponsors. Yes, people gave me money. I can't believe it either, but yeah, they gave us money so we can do this awesome thing. We're going to talk a little bit about the venue. We'll cover the room block that I've been able to negotiate and secure. We'll touch briefly on the CFP that's going to be coming up. And then a sneak peek on what to expect in Dallas. Yes, it's in Dallas, Texas. Okay, so mission statement. So our goal is to bring together and really the overall goal of Ninjas is to bring the crowd of all the workplace management and security people together to share knowledge, learn, teach. And, we very strongly kind of try to focus on, the management of endpoints. At some points, configuration manager is part of that conversation, but in US at Ninjas, we will be cloud native only. We'll also be focusing on things like virtual desktop, Entra, security, Copilot, because we are truly a cloud native community. And at our conference this year, our tracks are going to be Intune, Entra, security, Copilot, and DAS. And for the first time ever, I believe at any Microsoft conference, we're not just going to have women in tech panels, but we're also going to have neurodiversity in tech panels with some really great speakers that I've already have earmarked for both of those areas among Microsoft MVPs and other people in the community. That's something that's really important to us. I actually have gotten sponsors to sponsor both of those panels. So that's something that we're putting at the forefront, and a lot of companies haven't really been willing to do that. But we are a 501(c). We're also tax exempt, so that all the money we have and we invest can be put into everybody, because it's irrelevant who's on the team for Workplace Ninjas US. That is completely irrelevant. This is about every single person in the US that wants to learn about Microsoft, that wants to talk and engage and be in a community. The people that speak, the people that are on stage, the people that run this, those are all relevant. We're all one voice together. And that's a lot of what the mission statement is geared towards. For those of you who aren't familiar, aka Americans, so Workplace Ninjas started like around 2020, COVID-ish times. They had their first in-person conference in 2022. From my perspective, one of the best, if not the best, Microsoft conferences. They go a week and they bring all these great people in from all around the world. The Rudys and the Johans and all those fancy people to do fancy things. And Microsoft is very involved, and it's a really, really great time for everybody. And the reason that we attach ourselves to this brand at Workplace Ninjas is that it means something. It's building a history now, and we really believe in what it represents. And I've been working a lot with the Switzerland team, and we're all really well aligned. And we're also very closely aligned. Our management team in US is closely aligned with the management team in UK, who's also doing an in-person event in June in Edinburgh, Scotland, castles and stuff. And so we're all trying to kind of bring together things synergistically. So it's both a tech and a business conference. There is tons of Microsoft engagement in this US conference, like there has been with every other Workplace Ninjas event. So we're gonna have people coming in from Microsoft. We've already got keynote stuff lined up. We've got people from Microsoft. We already have commitments from some of the best experts in all phases of Microsoft, not just for Microsoft employees, but also other MVPs in the community. So the content is typically going to be in that 300 to 500 range. And like I said, we're covering a lot of different tracks. We're covering like Copilot, which is, I think we're going to be one of the firsts. I think UK is also going to cover Copilot. So we're really trying to kind of broaden and increase the scope there for people. So the leadership team, the people that are tolerating me and are going to help out, that man that needs no introduction, that's been working with Microsoft for about 7,000 years, Michael Niehaus, is kind of my number two. He's going to be really handling a lot of the stuff around speakers and the speaker experience. As you know, everyone pretty much knows Mike, so it's a great opportunity, and I've been very fortunate to become good friends with Mike over the last year or two here. And there's nobody, I think, really, even though he's not MVP anymore, that really better personifies what we want to do than Mike, who's he's everywhere, right? You see him pretty much every conference. You can't get rid of him. He's like Carmen Sandiego. He's like Estonia, Switzerland, Seattle, like Florida, like everywhere. And like I said, there's no person in the community I would want more than working with me than Mike. Also, and God forbid, Steve Weiner actually woke up and actually joined the thing. But it's Steve Weiner, whatever, however you pronounce his name, is another good friend of mine who we've collaborated on a lot of stuff, and he's going to be handling a lot of the social and the engagement stuff for us, and like the entertainment, because who's better of an entertainer? Anyone who's watched his YouTube channels or has seen his let's call it Mr. Bean-esque engagements at MMS and Ignite know how awesome he is. Bruce is also going to be a big part of what we're doing as well, from Davici, and he's really going to be he's been great so far to try to kind of help us out, and as well as a good friend of mine, Neil Chester, who's actually from the VMware world from when I was in VMware, who also has a large interest in community, in conferences and conference management. And like I said, a good friend of mine, and he's kind of signed up to try to help, because like I said, it doesn't matter who the 5 people are, right? We're all kind of going to be working together to try to deliver something really special. And I promise you, we're going to be doing things no one's done before, because I'm kind of batshit crazy, and with that, I want to do really interesting things. I don't want to just the same old thing that you see. You walk in, you get your deli sandwich, and you go sit a session for 2 hours, and then you go get coffee, and then you go sit another session. But like, I don't want that, and that's not what you're going to have here. You're going to have something that's very, very different, because why not? Why not be different? Why not fix all the things that you hate about conferences and try to make something that's unique? And that's really what our leadership team is striving to do right now. So officially, we're now announcing the venue. So the first conference, which we're going to start small-ish, probably 250 people, and then we're going to double it year over year. We want to show that we can achieve at a high level early on. So December 9th and 10th next year, this year now, 2025, we'll be doing this at the Alamo Draft House in Richardson, Texas, which is just outside of Dallas. We use this one because it's the largest one in Texas. Those of you who are familiar with Alamo Draft House has a very big cult following. The whole movie theater scene, really kind of a neat, cool place. I lived in Texas for 4 years when I worked at BlackBerry. We're going to be opening registration. The portal's already done. Registration is going to be opening on February 17th. We've been asked to wait until after MC to MC and some of the events going on in Europe So we're going to be opening registration on that date. That's the venue. Like I said, it's an interesting venue. It's got a lot of culture and a lot of history, and it allows us to do things a little bit differently and do some stuff that we want to do before we have to, before we become more adults. I'm not really an adult, but once we become more adults as a conference, and we're gonna do like legit large venues, we want to do something that's gonna be really neat and cool over here. Yeah, that's where I lived in Plano for 4 years. So the hotel, I was able to negotiate a good rate on a 4-star hotel. It's actually a really nice hotel. It's called the Highland Dallas. It's about 10 minutes from the venue. It's a 4-star hotel. I got that for $199 a night. That's the place. It's a really, really nice hotel. I'm actually going to be doing a site visit in 2 weeks where I'm going to be doing Steve-esque YouTube videos showing the venues and showing some stuff about what we're doing, what we're gonna have going on. So just to talk a little bit about the CFP, tentatively we're planning to open it in April. Microsoft wants us to wait a little bit, which is fine because they'll be very involved in some of the decision making. Like I said, I already have like the who's who of MVPs already committed to coming, and along with people who don't normally come to a lot of the U.S. conferences that have a bit of a travel. I have a couple special surprises in store. So you're also going to see sponsor sessions from some of the sponsors, which we're going to talk about in a second. And again, like I said earlier, we are doing Women in Tech. And unlike every other conference I've ever been to, Women in Tech is dedicated. You're not going to have to compete with Rudy, teaching you, astrophysics while Women in Tech is going on. Every single diverse panel is dedicated directly, period. And this is something I'm really passionate about because I spoke in Amsterdam a few months ago for a Control Up conference. And yeah, I was basically competing against people like Brian Madden during my neurodiversity talk, and that's not happening again. So Women in Tech and Neurodiversity in Tech will be dedicated sessions, not at 6 o'clock at night when everyone's asleep, like in the middle of the day when it matters and how it matters. And that's, like I said, that's of paramount importance to me, and that's what's happening. So that's something, like I said, again, that we're doing differently. As I said before, 5 tracks: Intune, AVD and Windows 365, Entra, Security, Copilot. And as I said, we've already got a lot of people who are already committed to helping. A lot of people are really interested in supporting the brand, which is why we're here. It'll be using Sessionize like every other Microsoft conference in the world. So let's talk a bit about our founding sponsors. So again, people gave me money. Don't really know why, but I'm very grateful. So we have, gold. We have all the gold spot. Your typical who's who, right? We've got Control Up and Recast. Microsoft's going to be involved. We've got the great people from RoboPack who, are basically the Pokemons of Microsoft right now, just capturing and catching every single potential MVP that they can hire. Now, obviously, Davici, Patch My PC, Nerdio, and Remo. We may have a couple others. We're going to be trying to open up to some. I'm going to try to open up and give some really good deals to really small shops that just want to have branding and marketing. Like my good friend Morten Penholt, Windows 365 MVP, who started his own thing recently. Like I said, I want to open up some opportunities at a really low price point to some of these smaller places. Just again, trying to do things a little bit differently and trying to kind of everyone helping each other. But yeah, so our expo is gonna be very different. We're gonna actually have we're only doing 6 booths. So it's gonna be really basic and simple, not too dissimilar from MMS. We're gonna have 6 booths. We're still gonna have the whole expo reception and all that stuff, but we're trying to do things very, very pragmatically. So now we're gonna give you a sneak peek a little bit into some of the stuff that we have planned. So, okay, show of hands. How many people hate this? At every single conference they go to, this is what you see, right? Sandwiches. I am famous for getting laughed out of my expense report because I literally walked across the street to Chipotle every single day during conferences at Moscone. People absolutely hate it. Like, I cannot stand it. It's like literally my biggest pet peeve in the world. So let's talk about what we're gonna do. So day one, we're gonna have a burrito bar from, if you've ever been to Texas and you've ever been to Freebirds, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They probably are the best burrito place in the country. I've been to a lot of places. Nothing is better than Freebirds. Freebirds is like a hippie hot version of like Chipotle if it was good. Like they have like cayenne wraps, they have all kinds of food. Like it's very, very upscale and very high quality. So that's step one. But wait, there's more. Day two, tentatively, we are being catered by Hard Eight Barbecue with live brisket carving on site. All things considered, I am doing a bake off between Hard Eight and Hastings in 2 weeks, because I'm kind of thinking about maybe doing Hastings instead. But yeah, I mean, I like I said, I'm doing shit differently. So like literally, you're gonna have a pit master like in day two, like serving lunch. Because like I said, and this is the reason why, this is half the reason why we're doing it at Alamo Draft House, because most places will not let you cater your own food. And I wanted to do my own thing. I was like, okay, we're going to do this kind of really, really cool stuff. And we're just going to try to do things a little bit differently than what people are doing. We also have a special dessert surprise, which I cannot disclose, that has to do with something, a certain somebody that's going to be coming, and I'm not going to disclose, but it's going to be hilarious and great. And it has to do with food as well. Yeah, banana pudding. Actually, banana pudding is Hastings. I believe with Hard Eight, you get like 5 types of cobbler as a dessert. But I believe Hastings, I think I'm saying, is it Hastings or Hutchins? Might be Hastings. But yeah, like so there's gonna be, like I said, food is a paramount importance. Our expo reception also does not suck. Caprese skewers, chicken skewers, dirty martini aioli, corn and jalapeno fritters, open bar, beer and wine. So yeah, like I said, food is something that is something that's I'm very sensitive about because of just the quality of food. And to bring this up in addition, one of the things that you're going to see different with our registration process, unlike at most conferences, is that we're really putting accommodations and accessibility at the forefront. So we're going to accommodate vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, whatever needs to be accommodated will be accommodated. And we're also going to be putting in accommodations for people who are neurodiverse. We will provide like quiet rooms and things like that. So we're going to do a lot of stuff to really try to make sure that this is a great conference for everybody. There are certain conferences that are very popular that are not as great of an experience for certain people of certain walks of life, like people with autism, something that's very important to me. And so we're going to be doing a lot of stuff around that kind of thing. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the immersive attendee experience. And there's going to be a lot more to come. But the best way to think about Workplace Ninjas US this year is it's going to be like a ninja carnival. So the attendee experience is the #1 focus that I have. I'm not worried about sessions. I know everyone's been to conferences. They've been to Microsoft conferences, they've been to MMS, they've been to Ninjas or MEM or whatever. They know the people that are going to be there. They know that the content's going to be good. But what we're focused on is doing things, again, differently. One of the things that we're going to have is we're going to have a claw machine that's going to have Microsoft and Ninja swag in it that people are going to be able to basically earn tokens and be able to play. So that's one thing that we're going to have. Another thing we're going to have, which I think is hilarious, is when you register, you're going to get a bingo card. It's going to have all the random buzzwords in tech. It's going to have like digital transformation. It's going to have, basically every word that Rudy uses on his blog, which are very fancy that I understand about half of them because, I'm not smart as him. But like, you're going to have all these crazy terms. You're going to have, AI and blah, blah, blah. And the idea is that you're going to go to sessions, you're going to mark them off. And when you actually get a full bingo card, you're going to be able to go and get free swag. I think it's kind of hilarious and fun, something that's different. And like I said, that's kind of what we're going for. And that's going to be another one of the things. We tentatively are going to have the Intune training duo as a Mystery Science Theater 3000-esque color commentators throughout the event, doing interviews, having a little like podcast booth, doing a lot of kind of immersive stuff. I wanted to put them in there to kind of to razz the speakers, but I found out that I was told that that was not acceptable and maybe not nice. So we're gonna keep them outside of the sessions and do some really cool and fun stuff with them. And the final thing what we're gonna do is gonna be in-tune Jeopardy, which I think is gonna be really cool. We're gonna have three of the best MVPs that exist. They're gonna compete head on head for a trophy. And Steve Weiner is going to play Alex Trebek, and this will be in one of the big rooms. And we're gonna legit do in-tune based Jeopardy, and maybe even more games, more than just Jeopardy. I'm looking at potentially doing it 2 or 3 games, depending on the different tracks. Where we're gonna do those. We're gonna have fun. We're just gonna kind of try to enjoy it. But the idea is that we want to have a really cool, fun, immersive experience. I already tried to get the Lior Bella dunk tank, but I was refused because it's cold in December. Yes, you can rent a dunk tank for like $500. I looked into it, but yeah, we're trying to do kind of fun, kitschy kind of games and immersion, because that's something I think that's really cool and fun. Another thing that we're doing that we're really prioritizing is the quality of swag. So some of the things that we're going to be doing is you will be getting a legit North Face backpack branded with a couple of our sponsors who are sponsoring it. So this is not the $25, Eastpak backpack you get at a lot of conferences. It's going to be a really high quality backpack. We're going to be giving out USB lanyards, which are actually branded with RoboPack. And so those lanyards, like I said, little 128 gig USB. And then, of course, we're gonna have some Ninjas branded swag, and we're gonna have even more additional swag items that we're working on, that we're just trying to finalize. But yeah, we're really focused on putting all the people who attend first. That's, like I said, that's what we care about. But so that covers basically what the plan is. Like I said, workplaceninjas.us is going to be your portal for everything. That's where they'll sign up for the webinar. That's where people are going to be able to go and register, similar to like how UK is doing it. So at this point, if anybody has any questions, I'm just going to kind of open it up, and people can kind of raise their hands, and I can let them speak, like I said, or they can type in chat or Q&A. Like I said, Workplace Ninjas is something that I'm very excited about. I think that we have a really good opportunity to kind of take the things that maybe we don't love about certain conferences, not because everyone has different things that they like and don't like, but like take the things that maybe we don't love and make them better and build on it. So I just kind of want to open the floor if anybody has any questions. It is going to be in Dallas, Texas, 12/9 and 12/10. Yeah, we're very, very excited. Like I said, we feel very, very lucky. The cost is going to be pretty low. So it's going to early bird probably at $450, but I might even drop it lower. I'm thinking potentially I might try to get down to like $350 or $400. We're going to do $250 for the first year, then we're going to double it to $500 the year after. Now all the questions. On the business side, Frank, I'm thinking about some networking stuff that we're kind of working on and planning. One of the really cool things that we're actually thinking about doing, if we get the proper amount of Europeans, is we might do a US versus world soccer game. We might rent a venue, some like pre-conference stuff. That's one of the things that we're working on as well, if we get enough Europeans in there, because it can't just be Michael Niehaus against like 15 people. That, even though that would be funny, but yes, I know football. We call it soccer. This is a U.S. conference. Okay. I don't know if it's even called football in Iceland. Do you guys even have grass? Really? I know you have grass in Iceland. I'm just making fun. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna try to I said we're going to try to make it really super affordable. We've gotten really good sponsorship, um, and that is going to allow us also to probably have we're also working on planning a party. And they don't usually do parties for 2-day conferences, but like doing an end of conference party, we think that we're going to be able to kind of put some money in and get to do something really neat. Mike, you just gonna do soccer? You just gonna do football/soccer talk for the next 30 minutes? The plan? Your mic doesn't work apparently. That's okay. Well, you have to. The hotel is something that you pay outside of that, right? So, like I said, the con so the 30-ish people that are in here right now, one random person is going to be getting a free pass. That's one of the things that we're doing with this. Um, Dallas is like 50 to 60 roughly in December. Um, so like I said, one person after this event, after this is over and the recording stops and I get the attendance, one random person is getting a free pass. Um, Registration opens February 17th. And like I said, I might actually take the registration costs down to 400, 350 early bird. That's kind of what I'm thinking I want to do. I'm just going to make sure that the funding lines up, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to do that. That's my goal. I want to make it a little bit, I'd like to make it a little bit cheaper. Well, that's the great thing about Texas is you'll get like an ice storm and the entire state will shut down. They don't know what to do. Like if they get like an inch, they're like, oh God, what do we do? Yeah, if you look up Alamo Draft House, they're like really nice theaters. The main room is like has like 250 seats. So yeah, they have really the seating is really very nice. The transportation is a good question. I'll look into that, but I might be able to facilitate that. Um, Tentatively, as of right now, the venue and the hotel are separate. It's like 10 minutes. I'll find out more about the transpo stuff for you though. I'll take you right back to the slide. And I'm touring the hotel in 2 weeks, but it's called the Highland Dallas. It's really, really nice. There's actually a really nice steakhouse in there. Um, so if you look at the venue is at the Alamo Draft House in Richardson, Texas. And the venue is Highland Dallas Curator Collection by Hilton. I can get the just ping me after, or I'll respond after the meeting, and I'll grab the actual addresses. But if you Google Highland Dallas, it'll come right up. Yeah, I wanted to get a really nice venue. I didn't want to put everyone in like a Motel 6. That I said that's a 4-star thing, and they have like a really high-end steakhouse in there. I like that. So like I said, I'm gonna be touring it in 2 weeks, and like I said I'll be posting videos on everything on the food tastings, on the site visit for the Alamo Draft House and for the hotel visit. Yeah, it was 70 like this week. It was like 68 like Monday. I was looking at the Dallas weather. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll send out a copy of this whole thing is actually going to be recorded as well. So I'll be posting this to my YouTube channel once I'm done. The best thing probably to do if people want a thing to do while they're out here is probably go to Fort Worth. And you go to yeah, that's Billy Bob's, right, in Fort Worth, the rodeo place. Yes, because that's what people at our tech conferences do. We all go dancing. I remember very vividly seeing Imagine Dragons at a Dell Tech conference, and I did not enjoy seeing any of what I saw. Yeah, you can book your own hotel if you want. Like I said, that's a really good deal. That's not like a lot of times like, well, you'll see a block and you'll go and you get it better yourself. Like those are like $260 rooms. I got down to 199. But you can certainly book whatever you want to book. And obviously, those of you who will be submitting calls for papers, you'll be able to get you'll get a 3-night block comped anyway, 12/8 through 12/10. That's the plan as of right now. And we will for speakers in Europe, depending on who the speaker in Europe is, we'll be comping the travel, the flight as well. Anyone have any other questions? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have. I don't think at this point. I mean, I'll talk more with Microsoft, but I don't think that we're gonna do any kind of. I don't expect to do any kind of workshops or labs or that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think as junior admin is fine because you're probably gonna. One of the things that I'm gonna also try to do differently, and I'll have to fight. I'm gonna be fighting Microsoft on this. Is I don't want the same speakers that are like at MMS, right? I mean, yeah, I don't want. I want. Some. I do want some of them, but I want some also new speakers that we don't usually see. That's one of the goals I have is to have a certain percentage, whether it's like 10% or 15% of new speakers who don't often speak. So we're trying to kind of try to bring in some good opportunities. I think there will still be. I think there definitely will be some good stuff for senior directors in there because you're gonna have, like I said, you're gonna have a lot. You're gonna have a number of Microsoft PMs there too. Like I said, I got a lot of interest in outreach and stuff like that. Anybody have anything else? You can raise your hand if you need to come off mute and ask questions too. I'm pretty good with that. And my pleasure. And like I said, feel free. This is my direct email. If you have questions, anything about the event, or if you want to provide feedback on things you haven't liked at other events that you'd love to see be done differently, I'm very open to that. That's a lot of my focus is making sure that we're doing things differently and making sure the stuff that I would always whine about, I'm not doing it, so I'm not a giant hypocrite. So it's like I said, trying to do things differently and just trying to do things better. And like I said, this will be a good first. This is a good first year because then, like I said, we'll do this big and do this like the Hilton in Dallas or something the following year and go way bigger. Yeah, we're really excited, and like I said, I'm really looking forward to it too. And oh, by the way. One of my other pet peeves, this is to the MVPs that are in here. MVPs are getting their own special badge. I absolutely hate the fact that MVPs don't get dedicated badges. So I'm planning on getting the MVPs their own special unique badge because that kind of drives me crazy. I was trying to get them to like do stickers or something for MMS last year and they won't let me do it. No, that's just you, Johannes. Johannes is gonna get his own special badge. Yeah, you don't have to bring your own MVP stickers. Like I said, I'm gonna have all that. I'm gonna have all that handled. We're gonna have one of the things if you're not familiar with ninjas in Switzerland, they have they have these special like ninja rooms where like people can kind of go in and talk and engage with like the speakers and stuff like that. And that's going to be one of our plans as well. Is we're gonna have one of the things I am thinking about doing. I might do is I want to do tables for like round tables for different areas like aviation, healthcare, biotech, whatever, so that people who work in a certain vertical can talk and engage and swap ideas. That's something that I'm planning on to potentially do space permitting. But yeah, like I said, please, yeah, send me email like anything you guys would like to see. This is an event that is for everybody. Like like people say that all the time, but I literally this event is going to be exactly what everybody wants to make it. So if there are things you're looking for that you want that you haven't gotten, like gaps you feel like you've had in the past, let me help. Yeah, like I said again, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate everyone kind of taking the time. Like I said, we're really excited, and there's gonna be more to come. So if anybody has any other questions, like I said, this is going to be, I think, is going to be a really cool opportunity. And those of you who are in Europe, I definitely recommend going to Edinburgh. All of us are going to be there. The whole US Ninja team is going to pretty much be there as well. Yep, I'm going to be in UK. I have two sessions. Awesome. Nice. Looking forward to seeing you, Ken. Ken, I'm even bringing my own Dutch person with me to US so you have somebody somebody to translate for you. You know him, Ken. Peter Van Roosmalen, who's one of my best friends, who works for ASML. He's going to be coming over. Well, he was just in Hawaii with me, so yeah, he'll be coming. He's one of the people that's going to be committing their time and helping out with the event. Christopher Turner has a castle in Scotland. That's now Rue Campbell almost had the Rue Campbell has more of like the Viking look than the Haggard look, I guess. See, now I wish that we were doing it in Florida, so we could just take Christopher to a Universal Studios and put him on the Haggard ride, just full circle. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna close stuff up so this recording doesn't become too contrived. Like I said, so yeah, send me an email. Send me emails. Anything you guys want, anything you're looking for, any questions you have, I'm here for it. Really appreciate a lot of my good longtime friends also being on the thing. Hopefully, I see some of you. Thanks, everybody. Peace.